Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is Tuesday, December 11th. The year is 2018. Let's talk trading. Opportunity. Every, second of each and every trading day, there's opportunity. There's opportunity to enter a trade. And if you're in a trade, there's opportunity to exit it. And if you're waiting, for something to happen, there's an opportunity to continue waiting or an opportunity to jump in. So when you say, as a trader, there was no opportunity to trade, basically what you're saying is you did not see an opportunity, or the method or system or trading plan that you have for yourself did not provide you an opportunity to trade. And that's okay. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in what some other trader posts on a forum somewhere and talks about this great trade they had. And then you might go, oh, why didn't I see that? And start beating yourself up, go astray. Next thing you know, you're blowing your account. So, one thing to realize is there's always opportunity. The second thing is, it might not be the best opportunity for you at the time. But there's always opportunity for you to use your money in risk management. In fact, there's no reason not to. Monthly. You can see here, we're still below the monthly open on the euro yen. We're 69 pips off the low, 84 pips off the high. You see, we're still hovering right around that midpoint of 43. We're a few pips below it at the moment, but it seems like it's just been hovering right around there. On the weekly, you can see here we exited the lower wick zone, and now we're back in that lower wick zone for the week. Okay, we still have two gaps that haven't filled, and it's only Tuesday, so there's still time to take advantage of those trades. And you can see we're right there at the weekly open. So there's going to be a push. Are we going to make this week positive? Are we going to make this week negative? So here's an opportunity to trade the weekly crossover. That's a Larry live trade as opposed to a Harry, what is it? Harry hindsight trade. And on the daily, you can see 5 pips above the previous daily high on that breakout, and almost broke out the low. We missed it by just 1 pip. So right now we are entering, looks like the lower wick zone of the daily, 9 pips off the daily low. Range wise, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 100. Euro yen clocking in at 79, and dollar yen a sad 46. Still money to be made on dollar yen. There's still opportunities there. But just don't expect to get those big pips all at once. Okay, you can see the pivot point was just before the short zone, so that wasn't really much of a bias indicator, but it did fill for a handful of pips. There's no reason not to take handfuls of pips, none at all. You can see here, once again, we're at the weekly open, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower highs. So you can see what's happened over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. We're coming up to the end of the 6 hour here on this downward movement. But you see VWAP sitting here. Got the VWAP at the 128.55. Look for price to move back to that VWAP. And you green rats, here's a Larry live trade. Just look for your trigger here. Many different triggers. You've got a turn trade trigger. You've got a green rat reversal trigger. You probably have a holo trigger since that H1 candle is still red. Yes, you have a holo trigger. So there's a lot happening right there. See, once again, opportunity. And we look here at the 4-hour chart that we use to look at the pivots. You see it took out the monthly pivot. Yesterday, hit it again today. We got the monthly S1 here, weekly S1 here. Where's the weekly pivot? Here's the weekly pivot. We just went through it. So for the pivot traders, we're right there. The south side of the weekly, S1 2770, R1 2923. And even if we hit R1 at 2923, you still see this pivot hasn't been taken out. And you can see Euro Yen missed pivot was 22 bars ago. It looks like we've got some missed pivots on some other pairs too here. We've got the dollar yen, looks like it's missed a pivot, and dollar Canadian has missed a pivot, and there's a few more. Here we go, 3-ball at the bottom, Larry live trade. Looking to go long here. Remember, we've got the weekly open right here at 28.29 also. So lots going on. You can see relative buying and selling. A lot of buying, not much movement. And these are the buy ticks. These are the pips that it moved. Okay, 3-ball at the top, red at the line. You can see what happened there. And trading at the line once again. Now, one thing about trading at the line, sometimes you have to be careful, especially when you're dealing with the highs and the lows. You don't want to go to the well too many times. So you see here we had a push, but it came back down. As soon as that pushed and started coming back, it was time to scratch that trade. I mean, yeah, you could say hairy hindsight because it could have pushed up, but that's what you look for. And you see here ditto at the bottom. You see, but it's not the low, it's the previous day's open. But the same rule applies. You see, if it's, you just don't want to go to that well too many times. You know, in this case, you went there twice, you know, it was pushing, but you see that was around the close. I'm talking about the highs and the lows. You don't want to go to the well too many times. And here we go, wick zone. Price doesn't like staying in the wick zone. As you can see, we had a wick zone 128.28. So that wick zone, which is just where we want to be. And for some strange reason, my computer, oh, there it goes. Okay, the holo, you can see here, all of a sudden now we went down, we're back into that lower holo zone, the low of the holo, lowest open 128.29 here, which also happens to be that weekly open. So you have that thing called confluence, looking for the upside movement. inventory retracement. Right here, you see those short triggers popped. We've got a long trigger at 128.37. And I think usually I had this on the 15 minutes. So yeah, you can see where that long trigger. So there's your long trigger on the IRBs. And you can see here, this is one of the reasons I like this chart. Right here, it was telling me, see, it popped through the high, but it didn't get through that open. It means it came out of that weekly wick zone. So that would have been, if you entered here, that's like, no. It's just, it didn't penetrate here. So moving up wouldn't have been a good idea. Or if you did take that trade, just scratch it. And you can see here on the tick, as we were waiting, as the computer froze up for a second there, there was the peak of the bid. The ask came through it. There was selling. All of a sudden, the bid came through the valley of the ask. There was buying, and then we returned to the downward side for about 4 pips. Not bad. And you can see here on the Einstein lines, we're right in between them again. So sooner or later, something's going to pop out, right? And for some strange reason, my cellular service doesn't seem to be working very well here. It's freezing the charts. It's probably because they're throttling the connection, but that's part of the, when you live out in the country. So what I'll do is I'll turn my phone into a hotspot. But then again, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, I'm having to turn the phone into a hotspot here because my normal connection for some reason is kind of freezing up. We only got a couple of minutes left though. But I was hopefully going to show you the new screen. I'll pause the video. Oh, no, it just popped open. Okay. So you can see here, this is the high of the day 1 of the month. This is the high day 1 of the week. Here's low day 1 of the month. So it came through there. Here's the low day 1 of the week. So after the first couple of days, these of the week, you know, these will stay fixed. This will stay fixed for the entire month. And then each week we'll get a new one. I just want to see what does price do around these two different ranges. So, fellow traders, remember, opportunity is always there, but it might not fit your criteria. Don't worry about what the other traders are doing with their portfolio and their trades and their system, because what matters is yours. Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So get out there and drain the banks.